कुछ मैंने कहा मेरे हीटर को थोड़े और वो कर दिया कि लो पे है, मीडियम पे आओ भाई। तो हाई पे आती हूँ। ओके, श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। We will start with our prayer. ओम श्रुते स्मृति पुराणानाम।
हाँ
ठीक है, टुगेदर वी कैन डू।
ओके।
श्रुते स्मृति
स्मृति
पुराणानाम्
आलयम्
आलयं करुणालयं
नमामि
नमामि
भगवत्पादं
भगवत्पादं
शङ्करं
शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं
शङ्कराचार्यं
शङ्कराचार्यं
केशवं बादरायणं
केशवायनं
सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ
सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे
भगवन्तौ
भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः
सदाशिवसमारम्भां
समारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
आचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
दक्षिणामूर्तये
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम्
श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम्
उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम्
उपदेष्टारमीश्वरम्
व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां
व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां
कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्।
कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्।
ओके 10 उक्तसाधनयुक्तेन
उक्तसाधनेन युक्तेन
विचारपुरुषेण हि।
विचारे
पुरुषेण ही।
अरे यार बढ़िया, मैं और बड़ा कर देती हूँ। उप्स, ये तो पता नहीं कहाँ चला गया। ओके भाई,
5 है,
कितना बड़ा
6
कर दिया ना। हाँ
हाँ अब ठीक है।
ठीक है। कर्तव्यो ज्ञान सिद्ध्यर्थम
कर्तव्यो ज्ञान सिद्ध्यर्थम
आत्मन शुभमिच्छिता
आत्मनं शुभमिच्छिता
इच्छता actually, इच्छता
इच्छिता
नोत्पद्यते विना ज्ञानम
नोत्पद्यते विना ज्ञानम्
विचारे नान्य साधनैः
विचारे नान्य साधनैः
यथा पदार्थ भानं हि
यथा पदार्थ भानं हि
प्रकाशेन विना क्वचित्।
प्रकाशेन विना क्वचित्।
ओके, हम लोग ने वर्स नंबर 11 तक आए थे, राइट।
जी
तो वर्स नंबर 12 में वही बोला था कि हम लोग को इंक्वायरी, यू नो, जिसको भी इच्छा है मोक्ष के लिए, ठीक है, उनको ये इंक्वायरी, आत्मज्ञान की इंक्वायरी करना चाहिए। और उनके पास दे शुड हैव दिस साधन चतुष्टय संपत्ति, it should be there. And then Swamiji had described how unconditional happiness is what is the desire everybody has. Everybody wants that Paramananda Sukham iti. And that is nothing but Anand. That is nothing but moksha only. Okay. And in fact, moksha purushartha is everybody's purushartha only, but people don't know it. They
Yes.
go after this and that, thinking that their Vishaya Sukha is their purushartha. Okay? And so they don't know that. Okay? Then Swamiji says that when you have this desire for moksha, you should make an effort. Atmanah jnana siddhyartam. Okay? This thing, you should make the effort. Okay. A very nice portion where Swamiji says in The need to act on desire, the second para. The knowledge that we want is the knowledge that I am ever free. That's the knowledge that we want. Eh? And this is very important, we are studying this Upadesha Sahasra, In that context, I can tell you very beautifully that Swamiji is explaining. So we all want to be free. Now, if we want to be free, naturally we want to be free from every limitation. Okay? And what does Vedanta have to say? That you are free from every limitation. Which means what? That the limitation is superimposed. So if Vedanta is correct, supposing Vedanta is correct, okay, let's assume Vedanta is correct. If Vedanta is saying that you are limitless, there is no limit whatsoever in you, whatsoever, right now, not that you have to become limitless, then what does it mean? It means that the limitation that we think we have is superimposed.
We have imposed on ourselves.
We have
superimposed.
Yeah. We have superimposed it on ourselves. Okay. And what does it mean to be totally limitless? So he says it means in terms of time, place, and any other condition, any other attributes. Okay. Then we have knowledge is gained through inquiry. That we know knowledge is gained. So vichara is kartavya. It is to be done if we want knowledge. Of course, that condition is there if we want knowledge. Eh? Knowledge cannot take place without vichara. And all the bhakti walas will say that even if you can't do vichara, you have bhakti towards Lord will give you moksha. For Vedantis, vichara will give you moksha. In the bhakti sampradaya, Lord will give you moksha. It is anugraha. Okay. So here, what is required for this vichara? Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is required. Okay. So the Tikakara raises an objection. Why should you do vichara? Why can't you do something else? It looks like you are saying it is kartavya, means it's a rule. Why is it a rule? And that's what is explained in the next verse. Na utpadyate vina jnanam vicharena anya sadhanehi. So it's very beautiful. Na utpadyate vina jnanam. Without jnanam, okay, vina jnanam na utpadyate. Without, without vichara. Na vicharena jnanam na utpadyate. Without vichara, jnanam will not arise. Nor by any other means. Okay? Anya sadhanehi also it will not arise. Just as artha bhanam means objects are perceived, he indeed prakashena, by light. Okay? Vina kvachita means under no conditions can this arise. Iti knowledge without vichara. Iti. So here knowledge does not arise by any means other than inquiry, just as objects are not perceived under any condition other than by light. Iti. And so I will take this first thing. Vicharena vina, without inquiry, jnanam na utpadyate. Knowledge doesn't arise. The reason why we have made this rule, why we insist that the seeker of knowledge should undertake the vichara, is that knowledge cannot take place without vichara. You cannot gain the knowledge anya sadhanaihi, by other means. You cannot gain it by meditating or by pranayam or by jumping up and down or by anything else. All of these may be very good sadhanas. Every spiritual practice is great for its intended purpose. But for the pursuit of knowledge, the prescribed spiritual practice is vichara. Yoga and pranayama will help you attain a frame of mind that can competently perform vichara. All prayers are good. Karma, bhakti, and all the rest are good for giving us a disposition of mind that is competent to perform vichara. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, dhyana yoga, all of them becomes means of knowledge because they can create in us a desirable state of mind, which is what we require for the knowledge to take place. This is what the Vedantin says, of course. Others have their own view, depending what their idea of moksha is. What is our idea of moksha? That it already exists, right? If it already exists, then why don't we, why don't we feel that we have it? Because we are
Not prepared. Not prepared mind.
No, because we are ignorant.
Ignorant. Yes.
Agyan,
We
yes.
are ignorant. And because we are ignorant, we are not prepared also.
That's right.
So ignorance brings in everything else. Eh? Therefore, Vedanta says you need vichara because you have ignorance. So you need knowledge, and for knowledge, vichara is required. And therefore, you need, because our idea is that moksha is already there. And this is also sensible thing, because if moksha means freedom from limitation, right? Freedom from limitation is not going to come by anything else. How can you, if you become unlimited, then you may become limited again. It is only if you are unlimited, then the possibility that you can come to know that you are got no limitation iti. Moksha is knowing what is, Uncle Ji?
Moksha is knowing what is. If moksha is attainment of what is already attained, then it is simply a manifestation of what is and not a creation of what is not.
I will put a better word there. Instead of manifestation, it sounds like manifestation is something coming up now. No, I would like to use the word recognition. Then it is simply a recognition of what is, instead of the word manifestation. I feel that's more appropriate. Why am I saying that? Because manifestation looks like something is unmanifest and then it has to manifest.
Coming.
But that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about what is already there. Moksha is already there. So it is recognition of what is already there. Okay. Uncle?
But if moksha is the creation of something that is not there, then the means is karma. All devta, Dvait acharyas prescribe upasana as a sadhana because they want to produce something that is not there or go someplace where they are not. Going is some loka or seeing something that is not present, such as Ishvara in a certain form is great. We have nothing against them, but moksha is knowing what is. I already see and experience, but knowledge is understanding what I am seeing and experiencing. There is no need here to create a new experience or go to some place where I am not, because reality is that which is here and now.
Any problem?
No problem.
Yeah.
It is here and now.
It is
here and now.
Yeah.
It is only recognition.
Only recognition, nothing else. First, negation, which leads to recognition.
If reality is someplace else, then what is here becomes asatya, unreality. Reality must necessarily include in everything. If Bhagwan is confined only to some place, other loka, and is not here, then this loka here excludes Bhagwan, and he also excludes us.
Hmm.
Truth must necessarily be all pervasive, all inclusive, and must explain everything. This is what is called Satya, truth or reality. By knowing that, you understand everything because it is the truth of everything.
Absolutely. Any Anita, it's okay with
जी
you?
या
ठीक है आगे. Now
But
you read. Hmm.
the mind wants to understand everything. You understand something when you know the truth of it. For example, you understand the pot when you understand that its truth is clay.
Hmm.
Just as clay is the truth of pot, so also Satya or Brahman is the truth of everything. When you understand Brahman, you understand everything. Brahman को भी तो समझना है.
Okay.
When you understand Brahman,
Uh-huh.
you understand everything.
Everything is Brahman.
Everything.
That's what you understand.
रोज इसी पे चर्चा होती रहती है. बस समझ
हाँ.
नहीं. Says Yagvalkya says, Sage Yagvalkya says to Maitri, Atmani
खल्लू अरे
Kalvare Drishte Shute
मते
Mate Vijnanata
Vijnanta.
Idam Sarvam Viditam.
Hmm.
Hey Maitri, when you have known the self by listening, reflecting, and meditating, you know everything.
Hmm.
Shvetaketu asked for knowledge of Yen
येन
Ashrutam
अश्रुतं
Ashrutam
श्रुतं
Shrutam
भवति.
Bhavati Amat Amat Amat
Amatham.
अमतं
Amatam
मतं अविज्ञातं
Amatam Matam
विज्ञातं.
Vijnantam Iti.
No, let me read it to you. While I'm reading itself, you'll understand it.
Okay.
येन अश्रुतं श्रुतं भवति.
Hmm.
अमतं मतं भवति. अविज्ञातं विज्ञातं भवति.
Iti.
That through which the now you can read.
That through which the unheard becomes heard, the
Ashrutam
unthought,
shrutam bhavati. That is
Shrutam.
unheard becomes heard.
The unthought becomes thought of, the
Thought of
unknown.
amatam matam bhavati.
Acha. The unknown becomes known.
Known. Avijñatam vijñatam bhavati. And you can add bhavati, there, then it makes
Iti.
different.
Instead of iti, bhavati.
No, iti let it be. Iti is
Uh-huh.
like quotes in Sanskrit.
Uh-huh.
But we are adding bhavati like ashrutam shrutam bhavati.
Bhavati.
Again we take bhavati amatam matam bhavati.
Bhavati.
Avijñatam vijñatam bhavati. Amatam, that which is not thought of, becomes thought of. That which is not heard of becomes heard. That which is not known becomes known.
Known. The teacher in the Mundaka Upanishad is asked, Kasmin nu bhagavo
Vigyate.
bhagavo
Vigyate.
vigyate sarvam idam
Vigyatam. Vigyatam.
vigyatam bhavati.
He
Oh,
says,
Reverend Sir.
Kasmin no bhagavo, 1 minute. Listen to it in Sanskrit so that it's, proper. Kasmin no bhagavo vijñate sarvamidam vijñatam bhavati.
Bhavati.
Kasmin no bhagavo, hey, revered teacher, what is it, what is it, kasmin, what is it? Knowing which vijñate sarvamidam vijñatam bhavati. What is that knowing which everything else becomes known?
Becomes known.
So he is given three this thing from Shruti. From Brihadaranyaka he has given, right? And then Shvetakeshu is from Chandogya, and here from Mundaka also he has given you 3 quotes that people want to know that by which everything can be known. In this Swamiji's context, he is only taking it, shows that human mind wants to know everything. Now you can see the next paragraph.
This shows that the human mind wants to know everything. I do not like it when I do not understand something. I want to understand everything, and I can understand everything only when I know the truth of everything. Satya must therefore include everything. It must be here, now, and everywhere. It cannot be limited in terms of time or place or object. Your concept of truth decides your concept of moksha. This is, then in turn decides the means of gaining moksha. People follow different paths or adopt different spiritual means because they have their own notion or concept of what they are seeking. The sadhana means is determined by the nature of the sadhya end.
Basically,
The
in that
sadhya.
whole huge paragraph, what Swamiji wanted to say is the mind wants to understand everything. That's all. That's all. That's really relevant there. Eh? Hmm?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now comes the important thing. Bondage can go only because it is not real. With reference to moksha, we don't want to accomplish anything. We just want to understand what is, because we are convinced that what is perfect. Our inability to see this is what makes us miserable. All we need to do is correct our seeing, which is called knowledge. This is what Vedanta says. If you agree with that, then this is for you. If you don't agree, then something else is for you. It is only from this perspective that knowledge has meaning. However, otherwise it has no point. Knowledge dispels ignorance. But what do I get from that? So, what Swamiji wants to, I think, is trying to bring about is help us to see that moksha is now, right now, here and now. If we can't see it, the only reason is because of ignorance. There is no other reason. If we understand this fact and then we are doing Aparokshanubhuti, then this is for us. But if we think that moksha comes through yoga or through pranayam or through some anything else, then he says your concept of moksha is a different concept, and this will not be relevant to you. So Swamiji says knowledge dispels ignorance, but what do I get by that? Ignorance goes, so what? All problems remain as they are if they are not a product of ignorance. If problems are because of ignorance, then they will go when ignorance goes. But if problems are from a different source, removing ignorance will not make them go. Vedanta points out that if the problems are real, they cannot be solved. The only problem that can be truly solved is one that is only thought to be a problem, only thought to be a problem. Let's put it this way, I like how Tadatmananji puts it. Vedanta solves the problem of suffering. See, if your gazer goes bad, then Vedanta is not going to solve that problem, right? But if you feel sad because your gazer got bad, then Vedanta can solve that problem of suffering. Your personal suffering, that problem Vedanta can solve. But whatever physical issues are there in and around us and they have problems, Vedanta is not meant for solving that. Vedanta's only thing is to solve your problem of suffering. It gives the solution for that. Only that which is thought to be bondage can go. Nice sentence. Eh? Only if you think, if supposing bondage is not real, but it's only your thought, your imagination, then it can go. Real bondage cannot go, just as only a projected rope snake can disappear, not a real snake. Yeah? If the snake is real, you can chant whatever mantra or do whatever you want, but it won't disappear. But if the snake is just your projection on what is actually a rope, it will disappear with the knowledge of the rope. This is Vedanta's solution, I would say, for the problem of suffering. Or our problems are like, this all problems is bothering me, I don't want to put it all in one, this thing of all problems. I would rather say our problem of suffering. Okay, our problem of suffering is like the snake projected upon the rope, which will disappear when the rope is known. It is as simple as that, or as complicated as that, actually, because our minds have become so complex that simple things become complex. In reality, this is just the accomplishment of what is. What does that mean? Accomplishment of what is.
Knowing what is the reality.
Exactly. Yeah, it is knowing what is the reality of oneself. Yeah. When you know yourself, you are already there. If you want to go someplace else, that's a different matter. Basically, Swamiji is addressing those people who may be thinking that bondage is real. Vedanta's point is your bondage is not real. Samsara is not real. Your problem of suffering is not real. Then, Uncle Ji, knowledge illuminates just as light illuminates.
The knowledge illuminates just as light illuminates. The author confirms that the knowledge cannot arise by any means other than vichara. And then he gives an example. Suppose this whole hall is veiled in a pitch darkness and I don't see anything. What should I do? I can try doing pranayam or yoga asana or japa or dhyana, but will that help? No. That which is preventing me from seeing, namely darkness, must be removed. And darkness can go only by light, nothing else.
Yes.
Objects are not perceived under any conditions other than by light. Vina kvachit means nowhere, at no time, under no conditions. In other words, this is not a situation that differs depending upon which country you are in, or even whether you are on earth or in heaven. Whether you are wherever you are, darkness can be removed only by light. Thus, padartha bhanam, the knowledge of or perception of padarthas, objects, does not occur kvachit under any conditions.
Prakashena vina.
Prakashen vina, other than the light. Light is the only means of dispelling the darkness. Here we are talking about ignorance. So knowledge gained by vichara is the only means of dispelling ignorance.
Yes.
This is a justification for the statement
Jnana siddhyartham vicharaha kartavyaha.
In the previous verse. To accomplish knowledge, you must necessarily do vichara, because vichara is the only means of knowledge that can dispel the darkness of ignorance.
So this becomes cornerstone of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, that vichara is the only means of knowledge which is capable of solving or giving a solution to our problem of suffering. Our problem of suffering comes from ignorance. And so vichara is the only thing which can solve that, problem of suffering. That is what we are doing. We are not doing this for academic study, no. We want to solve our problem of suffering. And so Vedanta says that this is the only way.
Vichara means vivek.
Analysis, yeah, vivek. We will be an atma, anatma, viveka will be there. All the methodologies which Vedanta uses. So vichara, using those methodologies, we will arrive at what really is the nature of ours, which cannot be negated at any time, which cannot be destroyed, which is always there, which cannot be negated, which is the basis of everything and which is free of everything, which is free of every possible, whatever is going around us. It is free of everything. It is free even of our mind, Iti. So that is what Vichara will give us, to a very ascertained understanding. Now the problem is what? The problem is the belief that we have in the reality of our problems, right? We have problems. It's not that I have problem. I may be feeling discontented. I may be feeling sad. I may be feeling fear. Fear is a big problem. Many of us have fear. Fear of old age. Fear of being, uh, caught up in becoming dependent. So many kinds of fears are there. This is the real suffering. What else is suffering? Yeah. Always in anticipation of some thing going wrong with this
Wrong.
thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is suffering. So we are looking for a solution to the problem of suffering. And Vedanta points out the problem of suffering is there because we identify. We identify with those things which have got problem. If we did not identify with those things which have problem, then we would be free of suffering. And then slowly it will show us how not to identify. Because it points out that whatever this is, the cornerstone of Vedanta, that you will not know your suffering unless you are there as a changeless observer. Not possible for you to know that there is suffering even. So suffering is happening in one place. It's not that it's not happening. Problem is there in one place. But you are the one who knows that problem is there. And since you know the problem is there, you are different from the problem. Iti. So that's the way Vedanta will finally show you, by negating. सब कुछ निकाल के. Actually, it's very interesting. हम negation करते हैं ना. Supposing let me create a uh, do whiteboard. Yeah. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Okay, good. How to make this font bigger? I do want to make it bigger. Anyway, so we want to do negating, no? So let us see, what all we think we are. We can put them, I'm going by Swami Tadatmanand, we can put them in categories. So we can say body. One category is body.
Yes.
Body and its problems.
That's right.
Okay. Then the other category is mind. And its problems. I'm not writing problems, it's difficult to write. Okay?
That's right.
Body and its problems, mind and its problems. Then world and its problems. World has also got a lot of problems. Eh? World and its problems. Then our relationships. Luckily, our relationships are okay. Huh? But many people's relationships are very bad. Eh? Okay, relationships. Relationships is basically our roles. Our roles. Roles have their problems. I have a relationship with my brother. Okay? I have relationship with something else. So whatever problems are there in those roles, right?
Anji. Anji.
Now we negate. Let's look at our own ego. Ego and its problems, and then memory and its problems. I don't know what else to add. Okay. Now we are going to negate. These are the things that I usually think I am. Okay, negate. Negate each category. How will you negate? On what basis will you negate? Shruti gives very simple basis. Every one of this is your object.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, then you can add some points to it also. They
Other
are
than me.
temporary. They are temporary.
Hanji.
And they are all dependent. Every single one of these, firstly, they are objects and they are dependent upon you, the consciousness, to even
That's right.
show that they exist. Okay, so now supposing you said no, 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 no,
Mm.
सबको नो बोल दिया, अभी क्या बाकी है? What is left?
I is left.
ठीक है? Now supposing now this I am is left, that you are there is left. ठीक है?
Hanji.
This that you are there is left. All these are gone from it. And all these are potentials of problems. Every one of them has got a potential problem.
That is right.
Then this I am, what happened to it? It's free of every problem.
Yes.
That is the truth, is what Vedanta is pointing out. That is the truth. You have gone, you don't know this truth about yourself. And you have gone and added all these things to you. And then, of course, every one of them has got problems. And therefore, naturally, then you feel you are full of problems. Eh? My life is one big problem, and then you are very discontented. Iti, so this is the sadhana that we have, that this is what vichara does for you. Vichara will help you to negate everything until you come only to that I am, and you cannot negate that you are conscious. You cannot negate your consciousness. That you exist, that you are consciousness, you cannot negate it. You try. Even if you try to negate it, you are as a negator, you are still there. So you are there, very much present. And in this you who is there is no issue. Every one of this is an object of your consciousness.
Guru Ma, all these are notions?
All these are notions. Every one of them. I am body notion. I am sadness. I am fear. I am anxiety. I am worry. I have anxiety. I have worry. I have sadness. I am discontented. I have discontentment. All of these exist in the mind. I don't say that these vrittis are not there. These vrittis are there. But that these vrittis are there because of ignorance, they are there. From past, they are there, sitting over there. But now what Vedanta will give you is the strength not to identify with those vrittis anymore. Don't have to identify with them anymore. Vrittis may take time to go, It's like if you get a cut, and then you got it stitched. Yeah, the wound is got stitched, but it takes time, for it to heal.
That's right.
So it may take time for the vrittis to not be there. So vrittis may still be there. But do I have to identify with them? Iti. That is what Vedanta gives you,
So identification is the problem.
Identification. And identification is natural when there is ignorance. Because we don't know. Obviously, you'll pick up, you want to be something, no? If that I am is sitting and shining over there, you try, in the morning when you are quiet, You have negated everything and the I am is very much there, and it will try very hard to go and identify. So you have to, marinate in this knowledge. I call it as marination, right? इसमें marinate करनी पड़ती है. You can ask any objection you have or any thought that you are having, any doubt that you may be having.
Marinate.
ठीक है, it is all right. कोई होगा तो पूछ लेंगे.
ये बढ़िया है ना. तब तो
हाँ.
एक आनंद आती है, बिकॉज इसके ऊपर श्रुति क्या बोलती है. When you say I am, श्रुति आपको एक्चुअली कुछ बताती नहीं है कि what you are, but you cannot deny your consciousness, and that consciousness is limitless, because you cannot add any limitation to it. If you add a limitation to it, it becomes an object of your consciousness. आप ट्राई करो, बोलो नो, बट you but भी करो, जो भी but आपने उसके अंदर डाला, it becomes an object. So Shruti is saying you're not an object. Aprameyam iti. You're not an object iti. So you cannot add, even if you don't want to be, you are limitless. There's no, you can't add anything because it becomes an object. That's why vichara, the importance of this vichara only, and all we can do after we know is to marinate in the knowledge. Keep on, usko bar bar dikhte raho. That itself is nididhyasa. Okay, let's do the next verse. No, we have not come there, right? Is it? No.
We are on the last paragraph. One by one, each verse establishes something because of which the next verse becomes meaningful. First, the desire for moksha arose. Therefore, the need for knowledge arose. And now the need for vichara arose. Next, the author described the nature of the vichara.
Okay, so this we will see next time because we're already at 6 o'clock. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just small class. Okay. So we'll meet again. Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
With that Upadesha Sahasri, what I am doing.